Good morning. Let me get a setup here. Here we go. All right. Good morning to everybody. The countdown has begun. Sorry, I'm a few minutes late trying to get the audio set up. I'll be muting my microphone so that I don't interfere with what everybody's listening to. Morning, Robert. Counting down, 2 minutes up.
What? New one wheels?
Looks like everybody's doing a live stream along with the announcement, so this should be interesting. All right. I don't need a picture on this, do I? Oh, well. Man, there are a lot of people already all over the place, all over YouTube, talking about the camera now. It seems that people feel a little bit better about the rumored specs. Well, thanks, folks. We have been all along. How you doing, Briar? Man, I'm just getting notice after notice about this announcement and different Adaramas going live, I guess. Here we go. Yeah, baby. That's what we want to hear. Man, wow. Mm. Whoa. Wow. Oh, man. God. Come here, buddy. Well, that looks good. Corey Rich. Yes. Wow. Wow. Yes. Ah, yeah. Yeah, me either. I can't wait to see what I'll do with it. Okay, so you guys can't hear the video feed? Sorry about that. I thought I had it. Man, 5,500. Wow. Ugh. Mm-hmm. I can't take it. I'm getting emotional. Man, that's just beautiful footage right there. Subject isn't bad either. Wow. No, bro, we saw this earlier too. I think 1 p.m. Eastern, they're going to pick up and they'll probably have guests and do the little studio talk around. Well, I don't know what they're going to do, but at 1 p.m. they're going to start again. Yeah, I agree. And we know the competition's coming, no doubt about it. But hey, you know what? We get to enjoy the moment for however long it is. And I mean, honestly, I think you really are going to have to come up with some gee whiz tech to up the game on the Z9. I mean, for the competitors to up the game on the Z9. And I have a real big suspicion that a lot of people are going to find they like that full size body more than the smaller camera. And that may be a big selling point too. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I agree. I agree. Oh man, I tell you, it's almost an emotional moment watching that. It's just so great to see Nikon, back to who they are, a tech leader in the camera world, and again, it doesn't mean that nobody's going to surpass it. Of course, they will. But just as you said, Briar, this is this is the start of the cat and mouse, which we talked about before. One's going to jump ahead, and then another, and then another. But like I said, also, excuse me, I think Sony, Sony's got the most to lose here, in my opinion. Um, I don't know what they're going to do, but the mediocre upgrades are not going to cut it with their fans either. Excuse me. Yeah, this is going to be a moment for Nikon. If they'd only done the other piece and dropped that Z900 or Z8 or whatever, I mean, it would just explode across YouTube. I mean, even right now, $5,500. Oh man, that is it's an incredible camera for that money. Incredible camera for that money. Of course, none of us have had it in our hands. The regular Joe, but I, I think it's going to be. It is. It's going to match the hype. Um, Poor Tony. Yeah, I feel for him. We should all send get well soon cards to him because his beloved, absolutely beloved Sony A1 has just dropped a couple of notches on the desire list. And I know that's got to upset him. But I mean, I think their presentation, the opening presentation here was incredible. I think they did an excellent job. There's Corey Rich. He does a lot. He shoots Nikon all the time, and he's big on his video work. But man, I mean, I had a smile on my face, and I won't lie. There was a little apprehension coming into this morning. It's like, uh, his Nikon had a moment there. The D5 was there was a lot of hype about it. And while I loved the D5, it just didn't wow the masses. It did within the Nikon crowd, but it just didn't wow the masses. So I thought, oh, don't let this be another one of those moments. I think they accomplished what they wanted to accomplish here. I think they found a camera, or they found the tech they needed. So R&D and the engineers did a fantastic job. And here we are, 2021 and back in the game hard. Not just hanging in the game, but Nikon is back in the game. And the subsequent cameras that will roll out with this new tech, it's just going to be phenomenal. Just phenomenal. Now I'm kind of curious to see what they can push over uh, as a firmware update into the Z7 II, Z6 II. So we'll know soon enough. Man, I can't tell you how happy I am. Wow. All right. Nikon knew it as well as far as the price too. He knew that this was going to happen. Yeah, absolutely, no doubt about it, Mike. I'm glad I sold my D5 when I did. I began to think maybe I jumped a little too soon to sell it because I felt naked without it. I really enjoyed the camera. I'm glad I did because you're absolutely right. It's maybe not right away, and there are a lot of people that are just going to say, I can't give it away." So they're going to. I think some will just suck it up and keep the camera. Most, oh yes, yes, prior. That's fantastic. So that puts this squarely in the budget. Wow, wow. Whoo. This is exciting. So that puts it in the budget for the package, the camera and the 1 to 400. That is fantastic. I figured it would be around 25. And the reason I said that was because I thought they might go just a little bit cheaper. And this is not the competitor, but the evolution of the 80 to 400. And I expected to be a whole lot better than the 80 to 400. And I get to use my uh, Z TC2 or the 2X. I don't know what the images are going to look like, but can you imagine carrying around 2 to 400 millimeter lens that you can literally just carry around? We're going to see. We're going to find out. Man, incredible. Oh, I can't wait to. I just can't wait to go and look at all the. I haven't seen any of the specs that were actually released for it. I haven't seen. I'm sorry, Mike. Is that an f4 to? Yes, it's 4.5 to 5.6. I think is the aperture range on. Yo, buddy. Sorry, my furry buddy behind me here is driving me crazy because I'm not giving him any attention first thing in the morning. Yeah, man, this is pretty incredible. I mean, I don't want to become a drama queen, but it's pretty incredible. It's definitely got credibility in the mirrorless world now. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. We've always felt like that, but now I think there are going to be a whole lot of folks out. I really think it's going to be just absolutely crazy. YouTubers got something to talk about now. Let's see what the influencers say. Where's my big furry headed guy, Mr. Fro? It's going to be interesting to hear how you know, they have to be very, very, very careful in how they approach their review or discussion of the Nikon Z9. Not that we don't know they're biased, but to everybody else that the independents, if you will, unbiased photographers and camera folk, when you look at what this camera can do and you watch the videos of what it can do, if these biased influencers come out with an entirely negative discussion or review about the Z9, they're going to show their true self, and it may cost them some viewership. And I'm not wishing that, but I'm just saying that how can you spin this camera in a negative way? I don't know how you could do it. Yeah. It's going to be extremely interesting to watch what comes up. Now I'm going to watch Tony his reaction to it. I'm going to watch Fro, who I don't watch, to see his reaction to it. I just want to see if they will actually show their true colors. and come out and try to nitpick this camera to death. Because if it were Canon or if it were Sony, all they would do is praise it. And if there's something that isn't good or great, it might get a quick mention and then it's over. With Nikon, anything they can find, they will harp on it. So it'll be interesting. Man, this is going to be an interesting week. So because I'm still in the live stream here, I can't go searching around. Is the link live on B&H for the Z9? Yeah, I watched his preview actually this morning when I fired everything up. That's why I was a little bit late. I watched some of his little his whatever pre-review or whatever. Yeah, and he couldn't keep his bias hidden for a moment in that. Yeah, he got it. I think it was wishful thinking. Could it be that he just wanted to say it out loud and hope that he would be correct? I feel like that's exactly what he was doing. Because it could unseat his beloved A1. That's the greatest camera ever. And not that it isn't a good camera, but man. So now the R5 folks, and they have a great camera too, but the R5 folks have to be looking at this and saying, wow, why didn't Canon do that? So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be real interesting. Let's see how many people will eat crow. How many people will say I was wrong? Oh man, what an announcement. It's been incredible. Incredible. So are the links open for pre-order on the camera and the lens, or did you notice, Mike? All right, that's great. The only thing we don't know is when this is actually going to start shipping. I mean, in their video, their primer for what's coming next, he did say 2021. Okay, that's great. But I just wonder if they have a date yet. Yeah, I agree, and that's been the biggest fear. You know, not even the chip shortage. I mean, my biggest fear was in the logistics of getting them here. I mean, they obviously had enough parts, chips, or whatever they needed to do a production run, but it's just getting them from the factory to, well, across the world, obviously not just here, but I mean, that's all we're concerned about is when does it get to America? We still don't know exactly where it was built either, do we? I'm not sure where it was manufactured. All I care about right now is the fact that, you know, it's just at least appears right now that it lives up to all the hype. And Peter over at Nikon Rumors can pat himself on the back because he did a phenomenal job. I mean, wow. And I love the fact that it's rumors because everybody doubts everything in the rumor mill. But man, his track record's been phenomenal for years now. Ah, what a camera. I don't know. I mean, there's been that talk that Nikon's no longer going to produce in Japan. I don't know what that means, everything or what, but And of course, outsourcing may be a little cheaper, but a lot of people complain, well, it's got to be built in Japan. Nikon's not going to lower their quality or standards when they're outsourcing something. So I'm not so concerned about that. Oh, I can get rid of these headphones now. Oh, yeah, I'm telling you, I am just absolutely stoked to use use that word. I really, I don't know. I can't even put it into words. It's just, and it's not because the camera is that good, but it's all the backstory of Nikon and of recent and everybody doubting Nikon, and how many times have you heard Nikon's going under? And then there's some more fear from the competition or the competitors, not from Canon or from Sony. I keep watching the video. Sorry about that. But all the fanboys of both saying, if the Z9 isn't a hit, Nikon's they're done. Well, okay, what are we going to say now? What else is going to kill Nikon? Because I think everybody will agree the Z9 is special. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. Not that Canon and Sony won't respond. Of course they will, but the story may shift to, over the next year or so, the story may shift to Sony's done. Wouldn't that be a flip? But I have a feeling that there are people that aren't so heavily invested in maybe Sony or even Canon yet that are going to say, I'm going back to Nikon, or I'm going to Nikon. The other thing that it does for Nikon is this sets the standard and shows the future of Nikon. So all the new shooters now can look at Nikon, and you can bet they're going to get they're going to get an eyeful of this camera, and it's going to make that decision to just jump to their buddy's recommendation. So it's going to be interesting. Okay. Give me a second here. Yeah, I thought they might have it in the video, but they don't. All right. Do. Get out of the way. Junk in the way. Yeah. Wow. Walden. I've been down there. Joe. Yes. Oh man. Oh man. Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm telling you, and at that price point, these are going to be hard to get your hands on for a while. So I can't wait to jump into Nikon rumors later on and listen to the buzz over there. And I remember all the people that were saying this is a niche camera and it's only for pros and it's going to sell very few. I mean, are you crazy? I'm telling you, people are going to sacrifice their budget to get this camera. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's going to happen. There are people that probably had a $2,500 or so that they were ready to buy this camera, and they're going to blow their budget, do whatever they have to do to get this camera. It's going to happen. I mean, why not have a first technology wise? And it's going to carry you into the future for a long time, no matter what Nikon does next. This camera is so different from all the DSLRs. Why do I keep looking at the screen down here? Sorry about that, folks. I think it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. So now anybody that goes back and looks at our live streams that we've done recently, we don't look so stupid anymore, do we? When everybody was saying, no, I don't think so. Where did $7,000 went out the window real quick, didn't it? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. What a camera. Now, are we going to find a few bugs here and there? Probably. But right now, man, I mean, it just looks stunning. Of course, everybody they've had shooting it. Hey, Matthew. Of course, everybody they've had shooting it, is they're gonna praise it, of course. But yes, sir. Please ask a question. Of course, you know, all the folks that have been shooting shooting with the camera are going to praise it. But looking at what they created with it is the real tell as to whether what they're saying is true or whatever. So, man, I'm extremely happy. I am so happy that that B&H threw this on their website way back when, I guess March, as a placeholder, so that when I talked to my camera store, I asked if they would, if they had a list started, and they said no, not until it's announced. And I told them about B&H having it on their site, and they checked, and they said, okay, we'll go ahead and start a list. I just, man, I'm so happy that B&H did that, because it just made it so easy. Again, man, the pre-orders are going to be crazy. They're going to be a lot of F5 pushing on computers with the trying to get in, and it's just crazy. It's crazy. Guarantee you, this is going to be a camera that's going to be hard to get for the next year, at least for the next year. Yeah, Matthew, if you're still in there, by all means, ask a question. I'm sure we have the ability in here to answer it, no doubt about it. The D850s, yeah. I don't know. I haven't even looked to see what they're going for, what the used price or, and I mean, there's so many places to go and look. One of the places, this is how I sold my D5, was on Facebook Marketplace, if you can believe that. But it was nice having somebody local so we could actually meet and talk about it. And, you know, eBay scares me to death anymore. But I haven't looked anywhere to see what the going prices are for it. Wow, $2,100. But, you know, that's the thing about camera bodies, isn't it? Unless it's a classic and it's 50 years old, it just depreciates to the point of sometimes not even selling it unless you absolutely have to. Man, I'm just absolutely ecstatic with this. Let me get out of it. You guys don't want to see that. Here we go. And let me get rid of that. Wow, gosh, almost an emotional moment. Matthew, let's see. Trying to find a camera that records footage in cinematic. My friends who is unvaccinated told me to buy 3 apples so I can take pictures. Thoughts on consensual? I don't know. Thoughts on consensual R8P3? I'm sorry, I don't understand. But there are a few people in here that may be able to help answer. Okay, I understand a camera that records in cinematic. I'm just not understanding the whole question there, Matthew. Love to answer it for you, but I just don't understand where you're going with that. Sorry. Anybody else in the chat that may be able to help Matthew out? Yeah, Mike, like they say, blow your money on glass. Yeah, absolutely. However, when you have a moment where a camera is this significant, Yeah, there are going to be a lot of people that are going to put their glass to the side and or that theory to the side and pick up the camera. You're still going to have 1,000 people in forums everywhere talking about the camera doesn't make blah 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 blah. And while that is true, the camera can make it easier to take the photo. So that's why I said in the chat earlier, I think the decisive moment is now gone out the window with the Z9. You can capture everything before, during, and after the decisive moment. And are you going to run into an issue with memory? Not in the camera. Well, eventually you would, but storage for all those files, or that's the other argument. Well, you're going to spend hours calling photos or whatever. No, you can pretty much call quickly. You'll know the decisive moment in a 50 image burst, 50 frame burst, but you guarantee that you get it. And I think that's what Steve, the wildlife photographer, Nikon ambassador, I think that's what he was talking about was, you know what, I can get those moments, but it's so much easier now. And he was shooting with the A1. I'm really curious to see what he has to say about, Nikon's new Z9. And I'll almost bet that he was one of the testers of that camera. Really looking forward to see what Morton Helmer has, because we know he had it. I can't wait to see all those folks. Those videos are coming. If they're not already out, I mean, they may be. I've been stuck here, in front of the camera with a live stream, so I haven't been ventured out and seen what I can dig up on YouTube. But I'm sure that you guys have already searched around, and there are plenty of. I see one already. Z9 by the Fro. Anybody watch that one yet? What did the Fro have to say? All of a sudden, he's a Nikon fan? Yeah, too late, buddy. Our relationship is over. Now I'm just getting notification after notification. Rishi's posted his review of the 100 to 400. That's exciting. Man, I got a lot to look at. Here. Well, what do you guys think, man? Mike's been, very vocal. Briar's been vocal. Who else is around, and what do you think about what we saw here in the opening announcement? I know 1,000 JPEG buffer. Are you kidding me? Exactly. It's just amazing. So the pipeline, I mean, they went from a 1-inch pipe to a 8-foot diameter pipe, pushing all that data. I mean, it's just incredible. And the footage that Jerry Jonas showed of that video that he shot, the music video, I mean, that was so cinematic and beautiful. Yeah, the subject wasn't, hard on the eyes either, but it just looks so good. Again, is this an all-arounder now? Do we finally have a camera that really checks the blocks and basically everything? We may not know for sure, but I'll tell you, it checks all the blocks for me. Anything that I want to shoot, it covers it, and covers it well, I think. It exceeds a lot of specs of the Canon A1. I mean, I don't have it up in front of me because the specs are typically very general in that, it shoots 8K. Okay, great. But when you dive into what that means for a body, what that camera can do in 8K or 4K or whatever, and I'm just talking video now as a comparison. Shooting 8K, yeah, that sounds great, but, and I'm not picking on Canon, when you go to the R5, look at the problems they had with 8K. It wasn't just 8K, but we'll just stick to 8K, with the heating problem, not being able to dissipate the heat quick enough. And I don't know what they did in in a firmware fix or something to help control that. But look at what the Z9 is capable of. It'll shoot continuous 8K 24 or 30. At least that's what we just saw. And I think that when this new firmware update that's supposed to bring about 8K 60, and obviously there's going to be a time limit on that. Can you imagine the data it's pumping, cranking through at 8K 60? I mean, 4K 120 cranks through some data. So I think that if you can't just look at a spec sheet with all the typical 120 frames per second. What does that mean? 8K 60. How does it record 8K 60 or 8K 30? Anyway, once you dig in to all the information, I think that the Z9 definitely overtakes the A1 and maybe in every spec. I don't know. And it's not just the spec. You can't just look at the spec. You have to look at how does it perform in that particular spec. So, and I'm not trying to hype Nikon. I want to, I really do. But I think right now we're going to see some comparison videos between the Z9. You're going to see them between the Z9. If you just look at the spec sheet, then you're wasting your time and it's easy. You're easily fooled. You have to see what it actually does, how it performs with that particular spec, AF tracking, video, the 120 frames per second. We know it's going to be 11 megapixels. So, but what do those images really look like? I mean, we shot forever with DSLRs at 12 megapixel. But anyway, it's going to be compared to the A1. It's going to be compared to the R3. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's going to be compared to the A9. I mean, it's going to be compared to everything. I am confident that it will do extremely well competing with any one of those cameras. But we don't know what Canon's got up their sleeve for a true flagship. But right now, I think that the Z9 will stack up against and exceed the specifications on any of the flagships that we have out there right now. I feel confident about that from what we've seen. Yeah, Mike, I mean, I know very little about it either, but looking at spec sheet and seeing what's been produced from or with the A1, I mean, it's obviously a good camera, no doubt about it. But how well does it perform in each one of those tasks? That I don't know. I'm confident that the Z9, because we got to see that. Not that you can't look around and find video or images with the A1. You can. I just haven't. But I'm confident that it's going to definitely stand up to the competition. No, it's going to supersede the competition. And that's not bragging, because guess what? A year from now, somebody else is going to squeeze a bit more out of the technology that we have, and they're going to jump ahead of the Z9. And it's just inevitable that that's going to happen. And it's going to, now we're in a position where the big three, I'll just say the big three, Nikon, Canon, and Sony, are going to continue this cat and mouse game. But that's okay with me, because I hope that Canon does come out with something next year that exceeds the capabilities of the Z9, because that just means that Nikon's going to do it the following year or 2 years or whatever. So it's good for us. And that's a good thing. The A10 new. What's another 2,500? Divorce. You see what I mean, though? I mean, that's what I was saying. People are going to extend their budgets somehow, some way at this price point. If this camera came in at 6,500, everybody just fall back into the norm of, well, I can't afford a flagship, blah, blah, blah. But now at 5,500, it makes everybody stand up and take notice. Like, what else do I have laying around I can get rid of? That's definitely going to happen. The 24 to 120, no, the 24 to 120. Okay, first of all, I was expecting the 24 to 105, and I can't remember whether it was you, Brian, or who said Nokashita last night said it was going to be a 24 to 120, which kind of surprised me. I have the old F mount 24 to 120, and it's not a bad lens. Barrel creep was a pain on it, but it's definitely a great walk around lens. And here's the caveat to all these. We want to compare to the F mount lenses. And I mean, that's fine. The only thing we can truly compare is the focal length of these zooms. But as far as quality goes, the 1.8 primes that Nikon has produced, the S 1.8 primes, have been phenomenal. Even the f4 zoom, as Fro says, kit lens, it's still a great lens. Does it compete with the S 2.8S? Maybe not, but close enough, I believe. But the 120 or the 24 to 120, very interesting focal length. I enjoyed carrying it when I carried it. I was shooting it on the, believe it or not, on the D700. And I thought it was a decent lens. I'm not going to jump up and down about it, but quality was good. Image quality was great. Sharp in places. It had its faults in different places, but I expect most of that to be corrected with the S lenses because they have been phenomenal so far. So I think it's going to be a great lens. I just can't speak to it. And we haven't seen anything. Well, we don't know. In some of the videos, that may have been a lens that was being used. I don't know. But we're going to see. We're going to see some reviews of it, and we'll find out. I think it's a great focal length for a zoom. It covers so much ground. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let me back up. Every lens obviously is going to be different. I shot the 24 to 120 on the D700. I don't have the lens with me. My stepson's borrowed it for some of the video stuff that he's doing, and I can't say I've actually used it with the FTZ. I guess I'm referring to my use with it on the D700. My 402.8D that's ancient performed extremely well on the Z6 II with the FTZ. I didn't have a bit of trouble with it. I think, or I feel, although I didn't switch back and forth, I feel like it might not been quite as fast or responsive, the 402.8 on the FTZ and Z6 II as it ever was on the, but now, I mean, that's a given too, maybe on my D5 or the D850. I had no problem at all with the lens on either. But on the Z6 II, I want to say it might have been a tad, almost imperceptible, slower in autofocus. I don't know. But yeah, as far as sharpness goes, yes, it was. I think it was just as sharp as it was when it's mounted to an F-mount camera or DSLR. So I think the quality of the lens obviously is going to. Man, it looks like it might be a bit hot. The quality of the lens is going to excel or make use with the FTC that much better. Nikon has, I think he's got the 402.8 and He has the 600 f4, if I'm not mistaken. I think on the FTZ, those lenses will do extremely well. So I think the only difference that you're going to see between F mount lenses on, let's just say the Z9, and with the FTZ, and mounted to the D5, D6, or D850 or whatever, the AF might not be as fast as the S lenses will be. The S mount 400 2.8 and 600 f4, just because those lenses were, the new design, and they were designed specifically for the new mirrorless camera. So I don't know. We'll see. But I think that's why they have the FTZ as part of the bundle with Z9, is because I think this is going to be the moment where pros or very well-off amateurs that are buying flagships and super telephotos, I think this may be the moment where they say, okay, I can now part with my beloved D6 or D5 or D4, D4S, or even D3 if they still have it. But they feel like they can part with it because Nikon has now produced a flagship camera that is worthy of moving to. And with the FTZ, I can still use those super telephoto lenses until the S versions come out. So, guys, you're going to have to excuse me for a minute. You guys chat among yourselves. Nature's calling, and I got to refill the old coffee cup. So I'll be right back, just a couple of minutes. All right, so what's the most interesting thing that you saw in the Z9 in the introduction today? I mean, I know that there's so many things that it's hard to maybe even pick one point, but what interested you the most in what we saw in the announcement today? It's hard for me to say. You know what? I guess I can say, I think the fact that based on the rumored specs and everything else, I just felt like this would be a great all-arounder for me. It kind of takes the place of several cameras. It's high enough megapixel. It should be a fantastic portrait camera. The AF speed, the frames per second. I mean, all those things are wonderful, but it just makes it possible to go from the studio, portrait studio, out to a motocross track or to a sporting event. And the same camera covers everything equally well. It's not just stuck in one. The D850 is somewhat in that category. Fantastic portrait camera, and does okay and does well in action and sports or low light. But I think the Z9 just excels in all categories. That's my thought. I mean, what do you guys think? See what this idiot is saying. I got the Fro photo queued up. This will be the one I watch. I bet all of a sudden he's a great fan. Always knew Nikon could, and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, right. Sure you did. Sure you did. Oh. Everybody still alive out there? You guys off other places looking at videos? I don't blame you if you are. Yeah, we've been going 2 hours and 16 minutes, but it's been a lot of fun. I think maybe I'll shut this down for a while. I may jump back on later on this evening. I mean, we got to get together tonight and talk about everything we've seen. Not to mention, after watching all the other videos that are out that I can't watch right now. So anyway, you guys, let's take a break, and we'll meet back in here tonight. I'll drop the schedule card so everybody can see it. So if you want to get notified of that, now I'm gonna be one of these cheesy YouTubers, but I mean the truth is, if you subscribe, it's going to be you're going to get notified, and you don't. That's fine. But sometime this evening, maybe back in that 7 p.m. time range. But I'll drop a card if I'm going to do it, and you should get notified, and we'll get together and chat about everything we've taken in. I mean, there's a lot, and I still haven't even looked at all the other videos that are out, but looking forward to it. All right, guys, thanks for stopping by, those that did. Thanks for all the comments. It's been fun. Let's go see what else we can find out about this camera, and we'll meet back here this evening. Again, I'll drop one of the schedule cards so everybody knows. Thanks for stopping by. Any parting wisdom from anybody? All I know is I'm happy. I'm extremely happy. $5,500 for that. Oh, now I can get the lens too. I didn't know how I was going to swing that, but now I can get the lens too. All right, gentlemen, any other parting thoughts before we close it down here? again, I'll definitely be back tonight. Let's go devour everything out there right now and get to laugh at some of the people that were so negative and thought it was going to be, this camera wasn't going to live up to the hype, but it did. All right. That said, all right, folks, I am going to shut her down. I'll be back this evening. Just watch for the notification. Take care. Enjoy the rest of the day. If you have the day to look at it, look at all the videos. If not, we'll be back in tonight to talk about it. Take care.